This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Sbayireddy. Did I get it right?
You got it right, absolutely.
Very good. Thanks for coming to our show.
Thank you, Frank. Before we start, I just want to let you know, you've been a huge inspiration and a role model for a lot of entrepreneurs like us in many ways. And
well, thank you very much.
Really, thanks for your inspiration.
I hope that I am a good inspiration for you.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here with you.
So tell me a little bit about who you are, what's your journey, how did you start your business, and how big is this business, and how you're making a difference in the community?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question. So we got a lot of questions here. So just
absolutely.
And I will jump in and
sure.
start the conversation, and also chime in the conversation. So
absolutely. So, as you say, my name is Srini Sbayireddy,
yes.
and I came to US about 18 years back.
Oh, so you haven't been here that long.
I don't know. It's subjective which side you stand. But my entrepreneurial journey started right after I got out of my college.
Is entrepreneurs are made or born?
It's a combination. If you ask me, I think I'm made.
I think you're made. You're not a born.
You can enhance your skills.
So entrepreneurs do the things right or do the right things?
Do the right things, I guess.
No, the managers do the things right, but
entrepreneurs do the right thing. Yeah.
Very well.
So and it's one of those things. My personal thing, I learn and lead. It's a cycle for me ever since.
What about listening and learning, both?
That's both. I mean, it encompasses both. So right out of the college, I
What did you go to school?
BITS Pilani in Rajasthan. India.
I don't know what it is. So you didn't go to school in the United States?
Nope. I tried, and I got into. I can only spread so much in terms of. I really love getting things done, and sometimes you have to prioritize, and then that really.
So tell me a little bit about. So that's you. You came here, and then when did you got into the act of being an entrepreneur leader?
So it was on and off. I started my first business back in India. We took a franchise. I got a couple of my friends right out of college, and we started an IIT branch. And that's when I thought I can make a difference with training. And then when we saw that successful, we had another one. So I always, to this date, refer to that experience as a benchmark.
So what's the name of your company? What does your company do?
Navitas Business Consulting.
Business consulting to who? What consulting you do for business?
We are system integrators and
system integrator. Explain to me a little bit more about the system integration.
We do advanced analytics, process reengineering.
So most of your customer federal government?
A bit of both. Right now we have 60-40. We have
60 is what?
60 private sector.
Private sectors, such as?
Banks. Fannie Freddie. Bank of America, Capital One, and then we have a lot of healthcare clients. But now we are venturing.
The government. Is your company a small disadvantaged business, 8A?
We are 8A, probably another 3-4 years left.
So you got a long way to go. You got 6 more years to go.
Yeah, but that's one of the vehicles, but relationships carry you the most than this.
But you got to provide the good product and services as well.
Absolutely.
What about customer satisfaction? Don't you think that's the key ingredient for success?
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, so your company is a system integrator, works 60% for the government, 60-40.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And my idea is to swap that, have 60 or 70% on the federal. We've been working with the Department of Homeland Security on the advanced analytics on the mission critical projects.
Okay.
And
you bid contracts?
Right.
So how many employees do you have?
We have about 120, and we have innovation labs back in India.
Innovation back. What do they do in India? Why not start the business here in Virginia? This is how you got started. That's how you realize your dream. Don't you think you have to give back to the community?
Absolutely.
In the United States?
That's one of my forefront priorities, and we have been doing that here. And what I wanted to do is, on the business interest, we have to start a couple of offices in India for the cost perspective. We have about 3 products that we are currently market. One of them was acquired by Cisco last year. It's a data security product. And then, so we took that inspiration and we are building on another couple of products right now. Innovation not necessarily mean the technology. It could be the looking at the process in a different way. If it could improve. So one of the products we're doing is a immigration case management system that could help the state, local, and federal, and also the private sector customers. That work is being done in India. We have about 100 employees back in India. So I think at one point, like you mentioned, we'll probably consolidate.
Well, I realize the American dream because America is a very inclusive and open society. And those are the values of America that all of us can proudly and truly embrace. So this is when you give back to the community and your country that you love. This is how you got started.
Absolutely.
India only gave you education, and that was very important. Also instill in you the love of education. So my question to you is, if someone wants to start a business, what advice do you have for the youth and budding young entrepreneurs? I want to be like you one day, Srini. What advice do you have for them?
I would say, to begin with, as a young entrepreneur, you always have those challenges. Challenges are inevitable, right? Either you could have capital issues, you could have because you're young and customers may not fully believe your product, or sacrifices in life, work-life balance, all that. But as Winston Churchill says, continuous efforts.
Mr. Churchill also said in 1942 at School of Harvard, never ever give up.
Absolutely, right. It's not the strength and intelligence, it's the effort that actually unlocks your true potential. So believe in your true potential. And
so I heard exploit your fullest potential. Right. I've also heard never give up. Right. Also, I heard you say that the access to capital is always a problem, a challenge, but you're going to have to work on it.
Work on it, and you have a lot of resources, role models like you,
sure,
obviously, and us. You should always tap onto those resources. I think the biggest trait, if you want to be an entrepreneur, is having that passion, the relentlessness. Then
so the passion and the commitment.
Commitment, right.
And what about the fact that you have to be a lifelong learner? You got to learn something new every day. Be the best you can be.
Again, you're right on.
And also the fact that when you're successful, help others to succeed.
That makes you, as an entrepreneur, that if you ask me what gives you that gratification,
that's what it is.
Others,
make other people to succeed. Right. Right. And when they succeed, you succeed, right, and the whole world succeeds. So my question to you is, you will encourage the young budding entrepreneurs who wants to embark on the journey, that go do it.
That's it.
Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Right. Go do it. Make it happen.
Risks are there. When you have that passion
and the curiosity,
exactly, you can manage. And curiosity is the key, because curiosity breeds the innovative and disruptive nature. So if you have that intellectual curiosity, then you want to go beyond. You do that extra mile.
And what about the fact that they be the leader for the next generation, be the change agent for the new generations?
If you have these properties, you automatically be the leader.
Okay. Now, let me ask you questions. Attracting and retaining a motivated workforce, right, is an important element of making the company grow. Right?
I truly believe in that.
And so what do you do in order for you to hire the right people with the right skills, the right ability to be integrated well into your culture, right, so that they are in this together?
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about what your criteria is.
So if I want to sum up in one word, it's I hire for their attitude and I train for their skills.
Your attitude, their behavior.
Behavior. So there are three things I look, and my recruitment team, my entire organization looks when we hire a new person: behavior, cognitive, communication skills. Those are the ones that define an attitude, and if that person
what is about trying to blend into the culture that you have?
Those three will eventually tell us.
Eventually.
And then the skills. If I'm hiring a strong technical architect, that is there, but I'm not just looking at the technical skills and getting them, because if they're not fitting in culturally, it's no good. Especially for my company, which is growing right now, the people that I have and hire now are going to train and mentor the people that I'm, especially the senior management. So I take it very serious, and I'm really blessed. So far, we've got some really good, talented individuals with the same.
So those are good stuff. The capitalism grows and democracy flourishes when you give them financial incentive. So what kind of financial incentive do you give it to them that they will stay with you? Now, let me give you an example. When I ran my company, not a single employee, the top astronaut in my administration, never left the company for 13 years that I was there.
That shows your entrepreneurial
But they had
leadership.
they knew there's a payday. they're gonna get a reward out of it.
I'm so glad I'm having you as a role model, because that is, I couldn't agree anymore. See, you need to give them, you need to stand by what you're saying, because that's one of the integrity is key for an entrepreneur. So, and rewarding them, it doesn't have to be every day you get up and tell them, hey, if you do this, you do that. They need to have that ownership, and the only way you can do that is being giving that empowerment for them and letting them know that you recognize their progress and rewarding them. So I hope I'll follow your
so President Kennedy once said, a nation reveals itself when it recognizes, rewards its talent. That's what you believe in it?
I strongly believe.
As you know, we are celebrating President Kennedy's 100th birthday.
Right.
You also subscribe to his notion that to whom much is given, much is expected.
Absolutely.
That's what he said.
And he is one true leader.
He was a true leader. He still remains to be a true leader. Now, you have encountered a lot of problems and challenges as you embark on this journey. How were you able to solve those challenges that you encountered? Did you embrace them, or what did you do to?
You have to embrace them. If you say you are an entrepreneur, you have to.
You have to embrace them.
And thankfully, I have a selective memory. So what I do is the things that didn't work, I take as lessons learned, and then I ignore as if that didn't happen, because I march forward.
You take the lessons learned and you learn from your experience. So success teaches you how to move forward, but the failure teaches you how to move backward. How never to go backward.
Exactly. And then,
but you learn from your failures.
You learn from your failures, and make sure it doesn't deviate your resolve, your optimal, your optimistic view. So what I do is
sense of hope and optimism.
It's, for example, let's say I team with a company, and if that doesn't turn out to be a good one, I learn, okay, next time I need to make sure these 3 things shouldn't be happening, but I will never think about that, because that's not going to help me progress. So that is, like I said, you embrace that, because the more mistakes you do, the more you're going to be stronger.
So it makes you a better CEO, of a better person, because you fail in some things?
If you fail, and if you genuinely tried.
But you learned the lesson from your failure, right?
Right.
And you probably will intend to do better.
Absolutely, right.
So you have been a successful person, so what's the secret sauce for success? You don't have a secret sauce for the success.
I don't know, I told you, I love to be motivated with the people around, and I believe if you are a positive thinker, and if you're a progressive thinker, you automatically attract people like you around, and then it's one Srini becomes 10, and if Srini can do 10 jobs, and if I can have 10 people around, it's 100. So the multiplicity is remarkable. So have the right people around.
So I hear the secret of success is to surround yourself with the people who have the vision and values that you share.
Right.
Correct?
Correct.
And you hire the talented people who can take the company together to the next height.
Right.
I also hear from you say the success in business is team sport. It really is a team effort.
Right.
So when the people say, I am successful, not I, we who made it success. Is that the mantra? Is that the belief you believe in?
I strongly believe in that.
You subscribe to that notion?
I 100%. Because it's the people, the collective nature actually gives that augmented value to that belief and mission and vision of an organization.
So by making the money, having the wonderful opportunity that was presented by this country to you, being an entrepreneur and having the financial independence, which you will have one day, what exactly do you do to serve your country, your community, by giving back and making sure that you can use the financial resources to write your own legacy. Wittingly and unwittingly, we're writing our legacy every day.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about that.
So right
Not
now,
necessarily social entrepreneurship, which is my next one is interview is.
I can give you a refresher on that. But good question. Right now, Navitas as an organization, we already have a lot of social events that there's an organization in Northern Virginia that we have platinum sponsors for them that takes care of all the underprivileged student kids around the
Socially,
world.
economically disadvantaged, the people who are
Kids,
poor, people who are less fortunate.
Right.
In order for you to create the next generations of the entrepreneurs and the people, a business person like you successful, what your company will do, intend to do to help them to create this next generations, which means giving them good education also. That's the...
Right. So one of the things we are doing, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go
One
ahead.
of the things we are doing is, I strongly believe for anyone to think innovative or even to have you need to provide them the right resources, be it a training or the computer equipment. One of the things we did last year as a pilot, we have this intern programs for high school students who can come in, and because they have the boundless ideas. If you see the kids, if you can harness their power, and if you can tell them,
harness the resources and the power.
Right.
Do you also provide, let's suppose I'm Frank Islam, I'm really poor. I just say I'm socially economically disadvantaged, I'm poor, my parents never went to school, my mother was in a welfare program, and there are a lot of stories like this in this country and our community. And what would you do to help me to go to school so I could be like you one day?
We should
Did you give them
a scholarship.
Do your company provide some kind of financial
We do.
Support for the people who have financial hardship?
We do. Right now we do through our, at least for the Asian community, Virginia Asian Chamber of Commerce, we do scholarships for students who does good and they are economically disadvantaged.
Do you track them when they graduate, and do you help them to find a job so that they can integrate into the social, economic, and political fabric of our nation? Do you do that also? Give me some examples that you have done.
We adopt, like for example, there's a charity organization in India.
But India, but you live in the United States.
And we do here too, but there's a lot of room to improve as we go along. We don't track when we provide the scholarship to the students. We can do that, but again, there's always we see how things are happening there, and we implement or better to take care of a greater set of disadvantaged folks here in the U.S.
Okay, so you gave that example. Now I just graduated from Virginia, one of those community colleges. I says, I need a job, man. Do you give them some kind of apprenticeship and mentorship and help them out?
We currently have at least 10 to 15 interns that we provide them
every year.
Right now. I mean, so our product, we train them and we allow them to work on our product. So by 3 months, they have the technologies. They can actually, if you want, they can go out or they can continue with us.
So you feel a social responsibility,
absolutely,
being integrated into the community, rather than a CEO who's mostly interested in advancing his or her own paycheck.
That doesn't give me any.
That doesn't give you the satisfaction that you're looking for.
Right.
So you like to integrate the community and help others.
And when I see them succeed, that gives me that motivation to do more of the same.
What do you like about America? And what do you think of the current political situation that we're in? Does that represent the character of our country and the values of our country?
Definitely
Do you think
not.
we are a threat to our constitutions, our values, our democracy, who we are as an American?
We are strong when we are together. I don't think that represents.
Well, that's a good one. We're stronger together, and together we can help shape a better future. You got you borrowed the phrase from my friend Hillary Clinton.
I'm not one way or the other, but I think
so you're neither a Democrat nor a Republican. That's not a bad thing. You're a business person.
There are
right?
certain things that's happening right now are
frightening.
Very useful for the country.
Such as?
keeping some of the, I wouldn't say reforming the immigration rules in terms of H1s and all that. Not
Reforming the
Right.
immigration reform to you is
to
important.
curtail the frauds happening in the
Especially
employment
the
side.
especially the H1B visa for the Indians are taken over by
Right.
one or two companies. They don't have equal pay, so that's
Right.
immigration reform. But not stopping the whole H1B visa. That doesn't make any.
It doesn't make any sense.
You
but
are the recipient of that.
that's how I got into this great country.
Yeah.
and
So what do you like most about America, and what do you hate most about America?
I don't think I hate anything in America. If someone says they hate, I really want to sit
What
with
do
them.
you
and
love
say,
about America?
Everything. It gives the freedom for you.
So freedom of expression, freedom of faith, and freedom of media, freedom of press. Those are the values that is what you embody.
Right.
It's a part of our Constitution.
Right. If you have the skill, it allows you to enhance and grow and help the people around you. I don't think any other country in the world gives such a smooth or free pass.
It's not you're right. This is a great country, and we love this country, and we want to be part of the social, economic, political fabric of this nation. This nation has been good to you, has been good to me. It's an opportunity for all of us to give back to our country, our community. Right. We have our challenges. We will overcome those challenges.
Absolutely.
And we move forward with the hope, not the fear. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week, and thank you for watching.